Hello, my beautiful friend. I'm Serenity Ravenwolf,
And I am Robert Hubbs.
and together we are Love Heals Humanity.
Indeed. And I know I say it's always an exciting show, and it's always an exciting show. And sometimes it's for reasons that aren't always obvious to people outside of you and I, Serenity, but this is going to be a really big one. I can see it. Today's topic, separation to wholeness, the secret sauce to having it all. And we're going to be talking about the duality that is reality, the separation that makes us whole. And I know we're both struggling to be here today. This has been a crazy day for me. I know it's been a crazy day for you. And I'm sure a lot of our guests, our viewers are experiencing the same thing, crazy times. And these are the moments, the most important moments in our life where we really need to recognize that craziness isn't outside of us, it's part of us. And that we are the craziness. And when we want the craziness to sort of slow down or tame down, we need to find it in us. We need to find the calm in us. And just before you get in, I want to acknowledge we had no tech challenges because the
No,
universe knew, the universe knew we needed a break. We had our own other stuff going on, so it didn't throw any tech challenges at us. And that tells me definitively that the crazy that's out there is the crazy that's in me. The chaos outside is the chaos inside. That separation is partially an illusion. And that's what we're talking about today.
and heck, might I just say life happens. The greatest thing that's been
Yeah.
shoved in my face this week is mortality.
Yeah.
We've had an interesting experience where a close family member has been diagnosed with a health challenge. I won't lay any more weight to it. It's an experience. But that said, it's just shoved right in my face, mortality, which energetically, instantly, I ejected out of my body. And then my energy is just all over the place. I did the secret trick just before we started the call, hey Robert, of expanding and getting seated because I couldn't even string words together. But the duality of that and the chaos of that is, life and death.
Hmm.
What am I here for? It takes you to a place of starting to reality check. What am I doing? Is this supporting what I'm here for? Does this feed my soul? Am I spending too
Hmm.
much time working and not enough time with my loved one that's
Hmm.
experiencing a health challenge? What would be, and the greatest question on the top of my mind was, what support can I be for this person throughout their journey of vibrant health? And what kept coming through very strong is my presence. So therefore I've been just juggling, how can I spend less time working 20 hours a day and more time with this other person? So this is what we're talking about, the duality, the life things, the life events that keep showing up, that keep ejecting us out of our body, stop us from feeling presence within our body. Because when we feel present in our body, we feel whole and we feel connected with the universe, the all there is, everything. Nothing seems to be a challenge, not even mortality.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
If all it takes is my presence, heck, that's doable.
Well, when you consider it, presence is the exact opposite of the end of mortality. Oh, I have to sneeze. Why all of a sudden?
Excuse you,
I
Robert.
tried I tried to get to the mute and that didn't happen. I'm sorry, folks.
Bless you.
If you're listening on headsets, my
It
apologies.
wasn't actually that loud.
Uh, but and that's an interesting moment because I don't think I've sneezed in a week and all of a sudden like yeah, anyway, but
Releasing.
you're correct that there is a release that has to happen. There is this coming to wholeness sometimes requires letting go. Not about the sneeze so much, but coming to grips with our own mortality that really is a separation. It's a separation of
Yeah.
life, but it's also a separation of the anxiety that we hold for it. The Buddhist philosophy says that, you know, uh, there is pain in life, and that's it's there. It's inevitable, but suffering isn't.
Yeah. And what
That's
and what's been helpful, and before I move on to any other point, hello everyone. Please say hi in the comments. Let us know where you are, because I love to know just how globally we reach. And if you have any questions about this topic in any way, let us know in the comments below, because I love to answer them even beyond the show in the replays. And please share with us, are you feeling this weird? I know for a fact that if I have big girl panties, and if I'm struggling with the energies that are around us, let alone what's just happened this week, I feel for all the other energetic souls. So what's going on for you at the moment? How are you feeling with the energies that are hitting us all at the moment? Because for me, this is about, where this all is a reflection of duality, of our mortality, and we're surrounded by it all the time, and it's shoved in our faces at other times, regardless of how big the challenge is. We can choose to stay feeling separated. Or what is it that we do to simply and elegantly and gracefully bring us back to this divine union? Because for me, divine union is more than about, something that goes on between lovers. It's this connection, and first it's your connection with yourself. And then beyond that, it's your connection with everything, the all there is. So,
yeah.
Sometimes what seems opposite is merely a difference along an expansive spectrum of love that binds us all.
Well, I think that's really one of my big themes from this week's show, is when we talked about this, that connection to life, that wholeness that comes with the connection to life. We don't fully grasp it until we let go of all these other parts of who we aren't. That's an illusion that we're actually separate, and we've always been one. And you've shown me this as much as anything, is that the all there is us. I mean, we are a part of that. So of course, separation's really an illusion.
It's like a drop of water in an ocean. A drop of water is a drop of water, yet it's also part of the ocean. It's also a part of the river.
But it's only a drop of water when you take it out of the ocean or take it out of the river. The rest of the time, it's just the river.
But like a hologram, though, it doesn't mean that it's any less part of the ocean, even when it is out of the ocean.
No, it's still ocean. I mean, how many drops before it's a flood, right? It's not one, but is it 10? Is it 100? 1,000? When does it stop being a drop? I mean, it was always a drop. It was always an ocean.
Mm-hmm. And that's like the rain, like many drops can make a flood. Mm-hmm. And they came from potentially an ocean or a river or some top of a mountain, the ice that's melting as the sun draws it up into its clouds. This is like, how much are we connecting with this divine union, supporting ourselves? And it's not one thing that we do. Like the secret sauce isn't one specific thing that we do. I wish to goodness it was. But it's like the rain. It's the multitude, the many little things that we do. What have I done specifically to support myself through this? I've been kinder to myself. I just feel like I want to crawl under a rock and hide. So I've withdrawn a little bit more to allow inner processing, going to bed earlier, saying nicer things to myself, loving my heart more, supporting myself, being present more for myself and those around me. And a great phrase that I have is, regardless of whatever we're feeling, good things, bad things, whatever it is you're feeling and experiencing in any given moment, when you're experiencing that, you need more love, never less. And that starts with you first. And that's the same with other people showing up in our lives, whatever, regardless of what they're feeling. Love is the only answer. It is the only solution. It is the most graceful and elegant path, I'm going to cry, to this divine union. And there is nothing yummier that I have ever experienced in life than connecting and reconnecting and continually staying connected for as long as I can. As this divine union, you feel anything is possible. Everything is happening for a reason. Yeah.
That idea, that experience, that anything is happening and everything is happening for a reason, I see so much depth to that. And I know for myself, and I'm sure lots of folks with us today have been through that, where we don't always understand what it is. It happens, and it takes time for us to sort out what just happened and why. And I think that's part of incorporating that experience, that bringing that what happened into ourselves is part of what makes us whole, because we've incorporated that experience that quite often negative. We can talk about what is and isn't negative, but very uncomfortable at times, very painful, very, very difficult.
Speaking of being
loss of a loved one.
Speaking of being uncomfortable, the greatest gift I think one of the greatest gifts I've ever given myself along this journey, and Nancy Davies says, I love your words. Thank you, Nancy. And I love you. The greatest gift I've given myself is I've learned to feel comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. The further along our evolutional path that we get, we just constantly feel like we're just in, and it can feel exhausting at times if they're big, like at the moment, because of this mortality shoved in my face. I'm experiencing a huge inner upgrade. Honest to God, all I want to do is be a hermit, disappear from the world and allow the process. So it's like, how can I honor enough of that and still experience the function in the real world? And it's and I'm here today. I might not be quite as peppy and perky as I usually am, but I'm here today. And at times this is challenging to just even get out of bed and show up. And the greatest gift I've had to help me through that is this divine union, loving my own heart, being kind to myself. Because until I can be that for myself, how can I ever be that for another person, let alone be the co-creator of the Love Heals Humanity movement? How can I support others? How can I support the greater community?
I see so clearly that I can never help anyone to do anything where I have not helped myself first.
Yeah.
I know if I try to love without having that love within me, for me, I know that it can't get out. And people have said, oh yeah, I don't love myself, but I always love others. And I'm like, I think maybe we love ourselves more sometimes than we know. And I think that expression of loving other people is often really, really the first sign of it. To truly love someone else, you've already learned to love yourself. And maybe it's hard to admit. It can be really hard to admit if you're struggling.
You can only love others to the degree that you love yourself. It's like our little pet topic that we love is about soulmate love. And we know soulmates is more than just about, rubbing body parts together with your lover. Do you know what I mean? Robert and I are soulmates, and it's like,
indeed,
to the degree that you can love other people is to the degree that you love yourself. And when I tell everybody I love you, and you feel like I've just enveloped your entire heart, your soul, your being to the core, this is kind of like the divine union that I'm speaking of. And it's a muscle. that practice makes the master. You know, with practice of loving my own heart, my heart is expanded, my reality is expanded, and the muscle and the feeling of, like, we have these two inner folders, the inner familiar, the inner unfamiliar, and the inner familiar folder, trying to get them there. And it's like computer when you're transferring a file bit by bit, byte by byte, transferring a large file, it gets there. So this is the rain we were speaking about a moment ago, is every time I say I love you, every time I'm kind to my own self, every time I say to the inner monkey mind that's telling me how horrible I am and the worst is going to happen, and I go, nice try. Instantly it's off the center stage with the spotlight on it, and then I start saying loving things. I love you, this is good, everything's going to work out. Sing a mantra. I've been constantly singing the Medicine Buddha mantra, which is about taking away, asking the divine to take away the great pain. These are the kinds of things that are each a droplet of rain for me, which are my secret sauce to stay in the flow and connected to the all there is, with this divine union. This is a beautiful dance. And the more I do that, the more I feel supported. The more I feel supported, the more support that I can offer and help others. It's like moving from the path and the journey of being what I call the wounded light worker, which, God bless their cotton socks. There are so many out there trying to help others heal, and they haven't first taken on the journey of fully releasing everything for themselves first, you know. And
it's hard, though. It's hard. Speaking as someone who's struggled with the whole journey of an empath, it can be really hard sometimes to say out loud that you love yourself when the world around you needs your love. They need you, me, all of us, to put our love into the world. The world needs more love. And for a lot of us, we feel it. That's our mission. We need to give love to individuals and to groups and to people in the world. And it's hard when that's within you to also stand up and say, yeah, but I have to truly give myself that same love.
Well,
it's tough.
I actually don't believe we have to do anything. It's a way
I
to
don't
say
mean
things.
that in the outside
I know,
sense.
but I would say what I really deeply desire.
Yeah.
Back to other topics. What I deeply desire is to love my own heart, so that I can fully embrace and love the world as much as the source does. You know, and in a way that makes you the Buddha, the angel that we already are. It allows us to step into our magnificence. And with practice, like, I didn't always start with, it felt really uncomfortable at first to say I love you, because I kind of sort of hated myself like most people, right? So I started with just saying something nice about myself. I know I have lovely eyes, and they're intense, and they can look right into your soul, and I've been complimented about that on my. So it was an easy go-to to say, you have nice eyes. And even if that's too much, you can start with say, you kind of sort of have nice eyes. You kind of sort of make really nice meals, bake lovely cakes. You're a kind-hearted soul. And I stepped up as the bite. We'll call it the love bite, B-Y-T-E, haha. Sorry, had to say it. The muscle has worked up, and it's now so in my inner familiar folder that I can switch it on and off like a light switch. And I know that I am so deeply, completely, fully, wholly, heartedly in love with humanity. All I see is that the light is triumphant, that we unite together, and we all have peace on earth. That is all I have as my end goal. Because for me, if that is my end goal, the thing that I can't think beyond, that's a game changer, because that presupposes that everything, I mean absolutely everything that needed to fall into place for that to be my and our collective reality had to happen. So I don't need to focus on the worry about what do I need to focus on? Do I need to focus on my personal development, my evolution, healing myself? I just focus on what could I remotely imagine peace on earth feels like. And everybody share in the comments what little things, little raindrops, little things that you do help bring you back to that center, to feeling that wholeness, that connected, that divine, yummy union with yourself and the all there is and everything. And please remember, if you're enjoying, and I know you are, if you're enjoying these shows, please remember on YouTube channel to subscribe and press the bell thingy so that you can be notified about all of our upcoming shows and when we add new content. And in Facebook, you can pop over to the Positive Happy Life with Serenity page and see the events that are going there. God. Susan Wolf says her connection is God. And God is many things for some people. Some people call it the source, the divine, the creator, God with a capital G. For me, it's God as an acronym, which just means great overall designer. But for me, the core of Buddha, Allah, whatever you want to call it, for me, it's the core of it is all the same thing. It's that yummy, expansive, non-judgmental, unconditional love and expansiveness. And it's exactly the same thing. So whatever you call it, that's what I'm talking about, that divine union, being connected to that, what allows your heart and your soul to sing. Thanks for sharing that, Susan. Has anyone got any questions too? Because Robert and I love to answer questions. Another talking point that I have written here is integrating perceived opposites into connection is divine union. It is becoming whole within ourselves and integrating with life from the divine wisdom of unity. And that's kind of what we've been speaking about. So I believe we've actually... cat hair. Don't pet the cat just before the show. Yeah. So that's this divine union. It's this synergistic relationship like trees and humans. There's something innately expansive, beautiful, whole, healing even. It was with my practiced muscle of saying, I love you. When I look you in the eyes, and my tone of voice always changes to a totally different resonance, and I say, I love you. Join me, everyone. Place your hands over your heart for just one moment. I love you. I love you. Oh, beautiful one. I love you. I love you. I love you. There's something innately beautiful and healing about that. It takes us into this softer, what you would imagine Jesus and Buddha would be like. And this view that we've been speaking of, this divine union, this connection that we've been speaking about, this view of life alleviates the separation that we feel we experience. It's not an illusion. We do experience it. But it's how do we get back to this divine union connection where anything and everything is possible, where in a way we're stepping into our power and acknowledging our divinity, our angelicness, our ascended masterness.
Our wholeness.
Oh, yeah, that's a good word for it. Susan says, I feel complete when I give back to my patients by providing care for their needs. And that is so important because, Susan, that is nothing small. That is huge because each heart we touch with just that one raindrop of kindness, compassion, love, support. This sends ripples of that because you were kind and gave back and give love to your patients. They go from your presence and touch other people, and a little bit of you goes with each of them within their hearts, their feelings, their emotions, and their actions, and their vibration, which sends ripples out.
Yeah. And equally importantly, they go with a piece of you in their heart, and that wholeness is shared, is spread. So we actually become more than whole when we give that kind of love.
Absolutely. And this divine union that we're speaking about, this beautiful dance, which is kind of the rhythm of life, this begins with us, which is what we've been speaking about. We connect with our inner divinity. And this is absolutely what gives us, brings us, allows us to have the reality of peace on earth. And absolutely nothing on this planet excites me more than seeing each, and what am I putting into my inner Google search engine is another thing. I'm seeing acts of kindness, compassion, and more of that shows up even with the war between the Ukraine and Russia. All I see is the kindness and compassion that the Ukrainians are offering even the Russian soldiers. We'll take you on and you can stay here and we'll treat you with kindness and compassion. It's there. It's all around us. We're enveloped by it. And all of life has this divine union in equal measures. It's just that not all access it to the same degree or in the same way. And that,
or
and how
even at the same time.
Yes.
And I don't mean two people at the same time, but we started this show, and here as we sort of draw to the close, but we started this show very much in that, well, I felt that sense of disconnect. I don't want to say separation, because you and I are never separated, but I didn't feel that. Normally as soon as we jump on, we have this just like, it's so juicy and this tight connect, and that wasn't there. So there was that separation, and now I feel it drawing that whole sense. So from the start to now, as we get close to the end, I can feel the change.
Yeah, and I feel very soft and tender and emotional and vulnerable right now. And yet I think that is the new sexy. It's what has allowed me to be a little softer, a little slower. And Susan says, thank you. I needed to hear this. I can't thank you enough. Susan, absolutely mine and Robert's pleasure. We love
indeed.
you. You are always welcome in our home. And this forum, this platform, Love Heals Humanity movement, is our home and is also your home too. So for you, Susan, and everyone that joins us in any way on the show, and for anything that we're sharing with the world on the topic of Love Heals Humanity and as a part of the movement, this is your home too. And all I have to say about that is, welcome home, beautiful. Welcome home. And this feeling that you potentially just felt as I was saying that is this divine union that we have been speaking about. This is the secret source. If there was just one takeaway from this call today, is each raindrop. You might not be like the Jesus or the Buddha or like Serenity is in this 10 seconds. And even honestly, my best in 10 seconds time isn't necessarily the best it was 10 seconds ago. And even sometimes I find it hard to love myself in some moments. So at least I can say, I like you. Or at least step it back again with a compliment. You're a nice person. But now I can say, totally authentically and deeply connected within the flow of this divine union. And there's something, as we mentioned earlier, beautifully elegant and graceful about that. All life, as we unite within, we begin to experience the outer world with this magnificent, omniscient interconnectivity. And this is what we've been touching upon throughout the entire show. And I'd like to finish my talking points with, do not resist or fear what seems opposite. Instead, allow it to foster new connections in the flow of our hearts. This unites us within and begins to heal separation, one empowered individual at a time.
Beautiful.
I think that's a good full stop to the show part. I'd like to move into the affirmations part of the show. I've lost my affirmations. Oh dear. Oh, they're above. There they are.
You've never lost your affirmations. They're sitting somewhere.
I've lost my
waiting.
marbles from time to time, but not my affirmations.
Well, there's that.
So everybody, before we move into this, I'd like to thank each and every one of you from my heart and Robert's heart. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you for being a part of our family, which is Love Heals Humanity. Because I believe it is the only answer and it is the only solution. You are absolutely a part of the family. And I and Robert are always and in always here for you. We feel deeply honored to be here, to be present for you as a part of this journey, whether it be challenging or we're in the flow of it. I love you. So, we're at the affirmations part. I'd like everybody to close your eyes. And in your mind's eye, a feather of any shape, color, or size presents itself. And as feathers do, it will gently drop down, 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 landing gently in the sacred space of your heart. And from here, the doorway back home, as Love Heals Humanity presents itself to you. My divine union is my love connecting all life. I become whole within myself, so my interactions and creations are nurtured in my divine love. I choose with a balance of future creation and the present moment. I am opening a deeper understanding of my divinity and connection with all of life. My heart is always open and I'm radiating love. Positive energy flows to me, through me, and from me. I am connected to the unlimited abundance of the universe. I allow the universe to work through me. I am aligned with my higher purpose. I feel the power of divine love. I embrace the connection I share with all life on earth. And I created a beautiful energy ball of healing and transformation and transmutation and love and wellness last night when I meditated. And so for today, rather than create a new one or add to it, it felt rather complete. So if you would like to receive all the yumminess of this, please open your hearts as I blow it like you would blow a kiss or petals directly to the center of your heart. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Deep breath in and out. That would be the end of the content for today's show. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. And Robert, would you like to announce the topic of next week's show?
Oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep them guessing because next week's show is about choice and choices specifically that shape our future and set us free. So everyone should guess what those choices are or show up next week and we can talk about it.
That said, everything we've spoken about today is also a choice. Everything is a choice, just to kick off the show topic for next week.
So much, yes.
So what choice are you making? What choice am I making?
I'm making the choice to show up next week, and I hope everyone else will too. And know that we love you all, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Until next week, I love you. Bye.